Hello, we're going to show you how the new shortcode feature works in Roots Persona 3.1. Right now I have my site open with the shortcodes and the entire plugin installed, as well as the edforbecky.net, which is Ed Thompson is who makes Roots Persona. So we're going to show you how to use this new feature. So basically you go pick somebody in your tree that you want to work with. And I'm going to use August James Strassel. Use somebody that you've already got a page built for to perfect your shortcodes. So by default, you'll end up with one shortcode on every single page that Roots Persona builds when you install the application and import your GEDCOM. This makes one long page that has the header, a picture, the biography, which comes from the notes section on Ancestry.com. And then the facts section, the ancestors chart, a descendancy chart, a family group sheet as a child, and a family group sheet for a spouse, and then the evidence page. Now, my issue with this is this page is really long, and so what I'd like to do is shorten this page. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to use just this page to find the right shortcode combination that I want to use. So I'm going to hold Control and hit Edit Page. It's going to open it in a new tab. And then you will see the actual shortcode that Roots Persona uses, which is Roots Persona is like a parent shortcode, and then every shortcode needs the person ID and the batch ID at least. And then usually the header or the main one will actually have a picture file if you have one associated with this person. So to keep this on the page, because we're going to put it back here later anyway, I'll just space it down. And so we'll use this section up above it. And we're going to go to copy shortcodes from, if you go to edforbecky.net, look over in the right sidebar and click shortcodes, you'll end up with this shortcodes page. And what we're going to do, this is the standard one, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in the other ones individually. On my edit page, I'm going to put in the header as a paragraph, not as a heading. And then the next one is the bio. And this would be bio. And then it's going to be the fact sheet. And that one should be here. I don't know why it keeps making it into a heading, but you don't want it to be a heading. Then you're going to want to do the descendancy chart. I don't see the shortcode for that. I'm pretty sure there is one, but I don't want to use it anyway at this point. So if you need that one, I'm sure you can check with Ed Thompson and he'll let you know what that one is. Then we'll put the ancestor chart in, and we'll put both of these family group sheets, which these are the tables that you see on the front pages. And I don't have any pictures, or else you'd use this one, and then here's the evidence shortcode. This shows all of the different pieces of Roots Persona individually. And so by using these, we can actually mix and match and move them around. Using this one, everything comes out in a standard format. It's nice, but it doesn't give you any flexibility to change the order. It does give you the ability to turn some functions, some pieces of it off or on, but not to change the order. So if we hit update, we can go view this page now, and it's going to give us an issue because it doesn't know what person those shortcodes are for. So as you can see, it doesn't come up with any information in these charts. This is from our standard shortcode that's still down below. So what we need to do is actually take this person ID, let's include this space here, this person ID and the batch file, and at least for the header, we'll actually use the picture file also. Copy those and put them in this shortcode here. This will fix our issue with it not knowing who to do it for, And then we're going to need that same information for each of these short codes. So you want to make sure there's a space here and a space here. And put this same short piece in each of these short codes. Now if we hit update, all of our short codes should be working. There. Now we basically have another copy of what the standard shortcode makes. And so what we'd like to do now is say, well, I don't want to use both of these group sheets. I only want to use the second one, which you could tell which one the second one is by scrolling down, and that is as a spouse. So that's the one I want to use. So I'm going to take out the one that says a child. And I probably want that to come before the facts. I want to take and put the facts right before the evidence. So now we've rearranged the order. And now we can take a look at our page. So we've eliminated one of the tables. This is a pretty long bio in for this person. And then we've got the one table, we've got our chart, and then we've got our evidence, and we've got our facts. Or our facts and our evidence, sorry. And that is not necessarily the same order that they would be by default. But now to shorten this page even further, what I want to do is I actually want to leave the header and the bio and put the rest of these in 4 tabs. So I have a plugin called WP-UI installed. And so what we can do now is we can add a tab set. And I'm going to put the title of the tab as tab 1. And this is test info, because we're just going to replace it anyway. We insert that, and it shows this is our tab information. Now that won't work by itself. You have to highlight it, and you have to wrap it with some kind of style. This is what kind of tabs I'm going to be using. And so we're going to be using a tab style. I'm just going to do the light style. No effects. It's going to be horizontal. And so I insert that, and that actually I'm going to be using WP tabs. This is the style. It's horizontal. And now here is my title tab, and then my content. And then this is where it ends the tabs. So that will take care of a tab set, an empty tab set. And what we need is we need 4 of these center sections, because we're going to be putting 4 of these shortcodes inside of it. So I'll copy and paste this so we have 4 tabs. If you want to check on that, you can hit update and go take a look at your page. And in between the standard and the new layout, you should end up with a set of tabs. Let's scroll back up here. And you can see now here where's my tab 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what we want to do is put this information inside of it. So inside of tab 1, I'm going to put this family S sheet. So we cut it from here, and we put it in the tab content area. And then we want to take the ancestors, cut that, put it in the next tab area. And then repeat it with the facts. And repeat it with the last one, evidence. And then, of course, you got to name each of the tabs. This one is family table. You can name them whatever you want. This one is ancestors. This one is facts. And as you can see, this one is evidence. Let's take up some of the space between them. And now we should end up with the layout like I wanted to have, which has our header, which is the picture and the date of birth, and if there is one, date of death, and also their bio on top of the tab section, which this person has that information of above the tabs, and then each of these sections are now tabbed. So the question is how do we get this to other people's pages easily? So let's go look at his wife, and you'll see that this is still the standard shortcode, and so it's laid out in the long format. And it's not very easy to do this and make those tabs happen for 1,750 pages. So basically what we want to do now is make all the pages use this layout. So what you've done now, since you've come up with the layout that you like, you take that whole section and you take it off of there, put your shortcode back the way it was, hit update. It's now on my clipboard. It might be best to use something like Notepad to hold it. And now you can see each of those pieces on our notepad. Let's slide that off the screen here for a second. But now our page is back the way it used to be, which is in that long format with all of the pieces enabled. So now to use it on all of the pages, you go over here to Enter Settings and Roots Persona. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see this section here called Custom Page Shortcodes. This is a new part that has just been enabled on 3.1 only. And what you want to do is you want to paste your shortcodes into this section here. So again, what we want to do is take this shortcode and paste it into here. But now that's going to use this on all of the different pages, so what we need to do is actually fix this so it can find out what page we're on. And how we do that is we use these pieces of code over here, which we call wildcards, and for everywhere that there's a person's ID, we actually want to replace it with that little piece there. So we want it to figure out the person's ID on this one, and this one. For each of the shortcodes, there should be 6 that I'm using. You could be using more or less. I want to make sure not to overwrite the quotes. All the shortcodes are using single quotes in this instance. And then there's a batch ID. You need that as well. Mine happens to be the number 1. Yours might not be. And then for the picture file, you don't want everybody to have the same picture, so you need to replace that URL for that person's picture with this variable here, this wildcard. Now you've set up your Roots Persona custom shortcodes to be used on all of the pages. I'm just taking up some space so I can see it all. But now it's by using this, all of the pages will use whatever shortcodes are here. So when I hit Save Changes, it's going to use the standard shortcode on each page to fill in the information. And if I go look at this page, which everybody knows I have not changed individually, if I just refresh this page now, it should be in my new layout with the person's picture and their bio and their information in tabs. Now, all 1,700 pages that I have are laid out this way. And if you like to make a short change, or you you want to change the style and play around with that. I believe there's another one called, you could just come down in here where this is to change the style on all of the pages at the same time. You change it to the new style for the new tabs. You're probably going to have to insert that on a page somewhere and get that style. But once you do, you can just change out the style. You don't have to rebuild all of your shortcodes. And then now you can refresh the page on any person's page that you're looking at, and it should change to the new style. This person doesn't have the family table. But that's pretty much how to use the new shortcode feature. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and put in a comment, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. Alright, hope that helps out.